Hello, Earl Pugh here. Today we're going to look at the melody to All of Me. This song has three parts, the melody, the chords, and the words. There are 4 previous videos on the chords, 3 on the guitar, and 1 on the mandolin, so please check those out. We're going to look at the melody in the key of C, which is where we did the chords, and we're going to do it in open position. If you're a jazz player, you probably want to play the melody an octave up and don't use open strings, but it's a good idea to know it down in open position also. So that's where we're going to look at it today. It lets us look at it differently. The shapes are different, so sometimes you'll notice different things if you look at a tune in a different place. So for the words, I recommend that you listen to Billie Holiday and Willie Nelson. So this is a 32 bar tune. It has 4 8-bar sections. So the first A, the first 8 measures is the A section. It starts off 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes straight down a C chord. There's our C chord. Then we've got a C, a D, and a C, and then we go straight down an E chord. So, this is why I want to look at it in open position. You can really see that the melody, although it's got a lot of accidentals, it's playing right out of the chords. Now we get to an A7, and once again, we get to the A7 chord, and once again, we've got 3 notes that are straight out of the A7 chord. Then now we get a little more chromatic, and we'll end on an F note. Well, we're on the D minor there. That F note is in the D minor chord. So that A section is really built on the arpeggios of the chords. So the 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're to the next 8 measures. It starts on an E7 chord, and we walk from the E down to the D. So 2 chord tones and a passing tone in the middle. Then we're going to go straight up the E arpeggio. So on that 2 measures of E7, we had 6 notes, and 5 of them were chord tones. Now on that A minor 7, we're going to have a D, and then it will resolve down to the C. So we've got a non-chord tone and then a chord tone. Now we go to a D7 now. A little chromatic motion here from a B down to an A. So we got B, B flat, A. But then we've got A, D, C. So if you look at your D chord and your D7 chord, you can see on that jumps around a bit, but it's all chord tones. A, D, C, and now we've got a D minor 7. We're playing the A note, which is a chord tone, and then on the G7 we've got a B. It's a chord tone. So very, very chord tone oriented. Some chromatic motion, but it's always aiming at a chord tone. Now we're to the next 8-measure section. The good news is this is another A section. So this tune has a little bit of a funny form. It's an A, B, A, C tune. So the second A is exactly the same as the first. We go straight down a C chord, 3, 4. Straight down an E chord, A7, a little chromatic, and on that D minor 7 we had the G, but it resolved down to the F, so we're back onto a chord tone. Now we're at the F6 chord, and so if we look at the arpeggio, we've got an F, an A, a C, and a D. We're going to start on the D. Then it's an F minor 6, and it will use only 2 chord tones, the D and the C. Now we're to a C major 7, which would have a C, an E, a G, and a B, and we start on the B. And then an E minor 7, E, G, 2 notes out of E minor 7. Now on the A7 we have a long B note. That would be the 9, and then it resolves down to the root. Now we've got a D minor 7, and we've got 2 notes, a C and an A. They're both chord tones out of the D minor 7. Now on the G7 here, we've got 2 E notes, and then it resolves to C. So on that G7 we actually played a 13, or a 6 if you want to look at it that way. So not strictly in the chord, but definitely in the key, and a nice sounding note against the G chord, against the G7 chord. So if you were going to improvise on this tune, observing that most of the melody is built out of arpeggios really gives you a great place to start on improvising. So that's really the vanilla version of the melody, but that's where to start. Just get comfortable with how it lays out in open position, and then you can dress it up a bit, and you've got yourself a jazz standard. So hope you've enjoyed this video on all of me, and I will see you next week.